Hello, this is Gary Martell here, owner of Power Palace Gym, and this is going to be kind of a quick video. A couple of days ago, I put up a video of me talking about real self-defense, and I talked about the issue of knives, how a lot of, people talk about the best martial art for self-defense, and then it's something that has absolutely zero accountability if the opponent has a knife, which is a big part of self-defense in the real world. I was, a little drunk, admittedly, had a good time, came back from a party. But this is now, I'm totally sober in this one. I'm going to talk a little bit more about, martial art related things. In that case, I was responding to some video I saw on YouTube. I see a lot of these videos on YouTube, they're in my feed, all these martial art fans, because I'm a martial artist. And I'm just so sick and tired of people giving bad advice on YouTube channels. So I own a bodybuilding, powerlifting, sports conditioning gym, which also has a martial art area. I don't teach martial arts out of here right now. But we have an open area here. People are welcome to use for boxing and things like that, okay? So here I'm just going to talk about the basics of using some of this equipment in here, because I see a lot of people come back here and they're just kind of like, they're in wide swings, they're doing a lot of boxing and stuff like that, and they're just taking it, and stuff that they think is boxing. It's really not boxing. They don't know the technical stuff. So I'm going to very quickly break down how you actually, fight, basically. They're very basic techniques of punching and kicking, okay? So the very important thing is you have to have a guard, right? You have to have a real guard. And a lot of people, use what they think is a Muay Thai guard, so they have their elbows out like this. Actually, Muay Thai is a lot closer, and you actually want your elbows in. This is for a couple reasons, okay? In the sport of Muay Thai, they're using big boxing gloves, okay? They're using gloves, and those are very, very large. You can kind of use those to shield yourself. You can kind of, because the gloves are very large, you can kind of use your elbows to shield yourself in this. You can also, use your elbows to shield yourself, against attacks and things like that. In unarmed, not unarmed, but I suppose street fighting, real self-defense situation, you can't use your fist to block and things like that, okay? That doesn't, you can if the opponent is very, very weak, very unskilled, very uncoordinated, and slow, which admittedly some people are, right? But a lot of people are not. A lot of people actually know how to fight. So you're not going to be able to use this to block punches. You will at best be able to slip from punches. Maybe you're going to get an elbow in there, Maybe you'll raise your arm like this. They're trying haymakers on you, right? Catch their forearms with your forearm, okay? The meaty part of their forearm, I should say. That is very effective against slaps and stuff, But if they're a really skilled fighter, that's not going to work. What you want to do is slip punches, and maybe at the best you can get your elbows up here, and you can connect their fist to your elbow, which will likely break their knuckles. In any case, the guard is everything, right? So you have your guard up here, right? You're going to have a close guard in here, okay? You don't have to have your hands immediately in your face, but it kind of helps. What you really want is to just kind of keep your hands within the silhouette of your body here, right? You want to be in the silhouette of your body. And there's a couple reasons for that. One, this is defensive, obviously. I'm in a good position to defend my innards, okay, against some type of blows, okay? But more importantly, I'm concealing my weapons, my elbows and my hands. I'm concealing them within the silhouette of my body, which makes it much harder for your peripheral vision of your eyes, which is what we use to detect motion, to see it. It's in the silhouette of your frame. They have to use, more of the straight-on vision to be able to see, which is less responsive to motion. So you can kind of hide yourself within the silhouette of your body, if you will. So only very skilled, I shouldn't say very skilled. Someone who has some skill in martial arts will be able to still, know what you're doing, because they'll focus on your shoulders instead of your hands. But unskilled people, they'll practically not know where the punches are coming from. So you keep yourself in here, right? And then a lot of people, they like to do, your typical straight punch across. In boxing, okay, they're doing this twisting motion with their hands, and they're connecting with a horizontal punch. What you actually want is more of a vertical punch if you're unarmed. This is something that I really recommend a lot of people do. If you're not interested in boxing, you're looking for self-defense, you should be actually using a vertical punch. The reason for that is that in a real self-defense situation, you don't have gloves on, right? If you're trying to make a connection with a more horizontal punch, you're very likely to hit with these knuckles instead of the ram's head, which is the first two knuckles of your fingers here, these knuckles right here. You're more likely to connect with these knuckles, okay? These knuckles are a lot more vulnerable, and they're more likely to break. Most self-defense situations, someone involved in punching, you know, the hospitals report that these knuckles are the most common injury from a street fight because people are connecting like this. And while you can condition these knuckles to be able to punch, these are more naturally stronger. So a vertical punch is more likely to actually land with those than with this. You can still try to hit the hand, right, or excuse me, hit the nose. You can still connect with these knuckles here, depending on, you know, the coordination. But if you go to body blow, you're much more likely to hit with this, okay? So you want to keep your elbows in and connect. And this is the other thing that's really important about punching, right? I've got my elbows in here, right? I put this hand up here to sort of guard myself, protect myself, okay? And I'm in what's called the front stance. Universal to lots of different martial arts, it's a front stance basically, okay? You've got, you know, you're sort of balancing your weight more on the back side of your, on your rear leg, I should say. This leg's kind of like a spring. It might be a little bit difficult to see, but you kind of just want to balance your weight right on this leg. And then this leg's sort of just here to stabilize yourself. And it has a very particular role, which is coming up. So, get a vertical punch here, and what you're going to do is you're actually going to, as you raise you're going to load, let's say you're in a guard position, okay? You're going to actually load your punch by bringing your elbow down more to your side here, okay? And you're going to actually lift your heel at the same time that you do this. Very good punching, like all techniques, is all about tiny motions coordinated together to produce tremendous force with very limited, you know, distance and a line, if you will, between your weapon and the target. So it's about position work. So what a lot of people do is they come in here and they go like this, right? They start going with their body before they go with their weapon. You always want to move your weapon first, whether you're unarmed or unarmed, with your weapon's your hand in this case, right? Your weapon moves before you move. Weapon should always move before you move. That's an important rule in close combat. When you're close range like this, your weapon must always move before you move, okay? So I'm going to bring my hand down here, and I'm going to raise my heel. And as I do that, I'm going to shift. I'm going to shift my weight just slightly shifting my weight, okay? I'm slightly shifting my weight. This is very important for technique. I'm slightly shifting my weight here, and then the third motion is I'm actually going to pivot on the back of my ball of my foot, and I'm going to move my heel outward. It's going to feel a little exaggerated at first if you're not very coordinated with this already, so it feels a little awkward, but there's a purpose for this. So I'm going to pivot here, and as I do that, I'm actually going to twist my knee this way, okay, and I'm going to turn my torso. I'm going to turn my torso pretty much like that, okay? The entire torso is moving, and this elbow is actually going to be aimed at my opponent as I extend my arm into them. So in one motion it looks like this, okay? One motion it looks like this, right? And you can still, like, I'm not really hitting really hard. I hit as hard as I possibly can. The whole thing lifts, okay? But you don't need to hit that hard, right? Now, a lot of people, they tell you to re-chamber immediately, you know, your defense, but I usually don't do that because this technique is actually the first part of a combo, okay? So if I'm right here, all right, I'm right here, okay? The combo is come with a vertical punch into this side here, and you're basically tapping some organs in here, okay? They're protected by ropes, but you got the force coming through here. It's actually going to jolt those organs. So my hand is now down here, and I'm going to do an uppercut immediately from this position to the chin, okay? So, just like that. Missed it. So, pull off this combo. It's a very good combo, okay? That's one quick motion. Okay? Third combo, our third technique of the combo. Then you can come in with your cross, not left cross. It's more of a left high hook, I suppose. It's kind of a but it's, you know, it's a hook basically. It's what it is. So what you do with hooks, you're actually doing the opposite of what you're doing with this buddy, right? So I'm throwing the ball with my heels, and what I'm actually doing is I'm pivoting on this foot, the front foot now. And I'm pulling my shoulders back, just this shoulder back as my hand comes in and hits it. And I'm hitting specifically, still trying to target the chin. Still trying to hit the chin, okay? You hit the temple and all that, and it'll hurt them, get a black eye. You want to knock somebody out, attach the chin, jolt the brain, cause knockouts. Okay? So here, okay? That's your basic 3-part combo, okay? So boxing, it's all about tiny motions that produce tremendous force. That's really what you want when you're practicing back here. Keep your elbows tucked in. Don't be out here. Don't be up here. Don't be down here. You want to be in, okay? If you're not going to box professionally, I suggest practicing vertical punches. Okay, vertical punches. Okay, you can of course do this with the roundhouse, not roundhouse, hook punch. Different martial arts call them different things. But hook punch, you can of course have a more horizontal, but vertical's better. Jack Dempsey, we always use vertical punches for his Dempsey roll. Okay, but anyway, you kind of get the idea that. Hope this is a good explainer. Throw something about kicks here. Okay, you can tell somebody is a real legitimate martial artist or not by how they kick. A lot of people come up, and they kick just like that, right? And you look at their foot, and their foot will do one of two things. Their rear foot's either up, so they're on the ball of their foot, which is not stable and makes it easy to trip and fall over in your own damn self. Trying to do that, you're overextending basically. So that's one mistake, that they're up on their ball of their foot when they're kicking. And the second mistake is their foot doesn't move at all, right? Real legitimate martial arts is actually using your rotational force of the body to do strikes instead of just trying to rely heavily on your muscles. And I of course can do that, right? Just relying on my leg strength and do a lot, right? But let me actually put a pivot on the back heel. Just slightly raising, just going like this, right? Just going like this, it's more of a slide really just sliding on the ball of the foot of the rear leg. Okay? That's tremendous difference, right? Me just using my leg, and then me pivoting. Okay? Big difference there. Pivoting on the back of your foot, no matter what kick it is, okay? Tremendous more force than if you're just kicking with your leg, right? It's kind of a quick breakdown, but don't want to make this video too long. People get bored, and I'm not always the best at explaining these things at the seat of my pants. Hope you guys got something out of this. And of course, very easy to knock this stuff over once you've mastered the basics. So try to be good with the equipment, and just don't leave it laying around in here, okay? See you next time.